Obiano asked state traditional rulers to tackle challenges facing Igbo culture and tradition. INEC restates commitments towards strengthening electoral processes. Nigerian Communications Commission awards 65 million naira to 11 universities for technology research. India arrests man over link to Easter Sunday bomb attack in Sri Lanka. Good morning and welcome to the news this time. I am David Okwokwasile. Governor Willie Obiano has commended the traditional rulers of Onitsha, Obosi and Ogbaru for their support to the construction company handling the second Niger bridge, expected to be delivered by February 2022. Governor Obiano was speaking during the 2019 Traditional Rulers Council seminar at the Government House, Oka. Government House correspondent Eji Kabana filed a report taken from here. The seminar, which is the 8th in its series, has the theme Igbo Enweze, meant to address the aberration that kings don't exist in Igbo land. Declaring the seminar open, Governor Obiano said that such support has helped to advance the progress of work on the project that will ensure prompt delivery. Governor Obiano asked the monarchs to brainstorm and take a position on areas such as the total abolishment of the Osuka system, the seeming anglicization of Igbo names, where people say things like Anambrarians instead of Anambra, cultism, as well as traditional rulers who prefer to live outside their communities, among others. On the 20 million naira Community Choose Your Project initiative, Governor Obiano commended communities that have completed the first and second phases of the project, but stressed that communities that are yet to complete theirs will not participate in the upcoming third phase and urged them to take time to support the Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme so that members of their communities will enjoy the benefits.
In your communities, there are very rich people. Approach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them to say, go to health insurance scheme. They will be very happy to do so. Instead of using that money to do things that they should use that money to do.
In his speech, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Chief Greg Obi, said that the theme of the seminar goes to the heart of Ndibo, their origin and history, which is important to the governor, and stressed the importance of increased cooperation between traditional rulers and President General of communities for good of the people.
We must continue to work together, Igwes and PGs, for the good of the Anambra. Both the Igwe and the PG are there to work for the good of the community, and we should never lose sight of that.
The chairman of the State Traditional Rulers Council, Igwe Alfred Achebe, in his speech said that the topic was chosen to challenge Ndibo to genuinely relate with kings in other regions, noting that Ndibo have been as guilty in propagating the falsehood that Ndibo don't have kings. Igwe Achebe expressed optimism that the seminar will produce a recommendation to state government on herdsmen menace, review of existing constitutions in their various communities, review of traditional marriage, burial rights, as well as proposal of town union administration as the fourth tier of government.
The consultations clearly identified the need for a platform for relationships based on historical affinity, mutual respect, common interests, amity, and unity amongst us.
The seminar, which is an annual event, serves as a review session for monarchs in the state to brainstorm on the challenges and chart better ways of engagement with their community members and all levels of government, among others, and was also attended by traditional rulers of the old eastern region, which was the first time since the war end of the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War. Also, Governor Willie Obiano has commended the Anambra for their show of love and solidarity to their representatives in the National Assembly during their inauguration. Governor Obiano stated this in Abuja at the reception venue of the member representing Anambra East and West Federal Constituency, Chief Chinedu Obidigwe. Correspondents Ngozi Obilewi and Amaka Chibuzo Koye were there and now reports.
Anambra indigents demonstrated that distance cannot be a barrier to their support, goodwill, reaching out and celebrating with their own at various parts of Abuja, witnessed heavy presence of people of the state during the inauguration of the 9th National Assembly. It was an outpour of love and solidarity as Ndi Anambra from various backgrounds trooped in their numbers to felicitate with those representing various constituencies and districts at the National Assembly. Notable among the dignitaries that graced the occasion were stakeholders in the All Progressives Grand Alliance led by the state chairman of the party, Sanobat Obi, Commissioner for Transport, Mr. Uchenna Okafor, and his commerce counterpart, Dr. Christian Madubuko. Traditional rulers, including the traditional ruler of Nteje, Igwe Roland Odebo, Umunya, Igwe Chris Onyekuluje, Umueri, Igwe Beneth Emeka, Igbariam, Igwe Kelly Nzekwe, the Ananka counterpart, Igwe Godwin Ezilo, and numerous other traditional rulers. Other dignitaries were Anglican Bishop of Mbamili Diocese, Right Reverend Henry Okeke, that of Afikpo, the Right Reverend Paul Udogo, former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, and Enugu-born stakeholder Chief Augustine Ogwejofo, Aguleri cabinet chiefs, President General in all the communities in Anambra East and West, youths, women groups, market leaders from South East and others. Speaking at the event, Governor Obiano, represented by his special advisor on political matters, Chief Ifeatu Obi-Okoye, appreciated Ndi Anambra for taking the pains to felicitate with their people. Governor Obiano said that it was an outcome of the quality representation in the state that taught the people the need to value neighborly relationship. While congratulating all Anambra representatives, both at the Senate and House of Representatives, for a successful inauguration ceremonies, Governor Obiano charged them not to let the state down, but to continue to aspire to the top, which Ndi Anambra are known for, by enacting laws that will better the lives of Ndi Anambra and Nigerians at large.
We are still with them, even as they have left us for Abuja, and let them also know that their being here is part of collaboration in the works of making Anambra a better place. Whatever they will be doing here must always be in tandem with the aspirations of the good governance that we put in place in Anambra.
In his speech, the member representing Anambra East and West Federal Constituency, Chief Obidigwe, expressed joy with the heavy presence of people of the state at the event, which he said is a demonstration of the Abga mantra, Onye Agha na Nwanne Ya. Chief Obidigwe promised to fulfill his campaign promises as he will hold town hall meetings at intervals to identify the needs of his people.
What is very imperative here is that I assured them quarterly they will be seeing me. I must be coming home to account my activities here in Abuja. I'm known for being real. I never for one day affect my identity or my behavior. I believe in what I can do and I continue to do that.
Also, the member representing Orumba North and South Federal Constituency, Chief Okudili Ezenwankwo, said, having come from an erosion-prone area, he will ensure that more efforts are channeled towards erosion control in Anambra State. The event featured music display by the youth and women groups. From Abuja, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
And still on inauguration stories, the 7th Anambra State House of Assembly says it is committed to enacting more people-oriented laws for good governance of Anambra State. The Speaker, State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Uchenna Okafor, gave the assurance in his inaugural speech delivered at the inauguration plenary. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwuemeka Mwadene was there and reports now.
Right Honorable Okafor, while giving assurance that the 7th Assembly will meet the expectations of the people by surpassing the achievements of the 6th Assembly, thanked his colleagues for exhibiting patriotism and maturity by electing him as the Speaker of the 7th Assembly. Mr. Okafor stated that the House under his watch shall justify the confidence reposed in him by partnering the judiciary and executive arm of government in moving the state forward. He commended Governor Willie Obiano for remaining steadfast in enthroning and sustaining good governance in the state.
I thank my distinguished colleagues for the confidence reposed in me by electing me the Speaker of the 7th State Assembly. And I promise to carry everybody along and to respect individual potentials of the lawmakers towards enthroning a formidable legislation. May this Salon Chamber continue to offer the best legislative services to Ndi Anambra, and may the future generations of the state look upon the 7th Assembly as a true assembly of the people's representatives who did their best in the service of our dear state.
The 7th State House of Assembly was inaugurated by the Clerk of the House, Mr. Pius Udo, following the proclamation of the first sitting of the House by Governor Willie Obiano. In an interview, the member representing Onitsha North 2 constituency, Honorable Edward Ibuzo, assured the new leadership of the House that members of the House will work with them to record more accomplishments. From the State House of Assembly, Chukwuemeka Modelem, ABS News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will continue to strengthen and deepen the processes that will solidify democracy in Nigeria. The Anambra State Resident Electoral Commissioner, REC, Dr. Nkwachukwu, stated this in a one-day post-election review of the 2019 general elections in Awka. Correspondent Emmanuel Chibata has details.
According to Commissioner, the meeting was to reflect and look into the intervening variables that obstructed the expected outcome of the 2019 general elections. Dr. Oji, who explained that INEC encountered some challenges both at the institutional and individual level, which includes fire incidents few days to the election and logistic issues, added that the interactive sessions of the Commission will help tackle the threats they faced and prepared them to uphold a free and fair elections next 4 years without any interference.
We have gathered all the heads of departments, we have gathered all the electoral officers in the 21 local governments in Anambra State to have open and frank discussion around the challenges that they faced as individuals. We have also invited some of the ad hoc staff that assisted us during the election, the returning officers, the collation officers, the presiding officers and assistant presiding officers.
The facilitators of the program, Mrs. Priscilla Ezigwe and Mr. Adanilo Moses from INEC headquarters, Abuja, explained that the objectives and expectations of the 2019 post-election review retreat is to identify success factors in the elections with a view to consolidating and sustaining them and to review the operational framework put in place by the Commission for the 2019 general election, among others.
We still have more which they will be in Lagos, which our neck here will be there to present our reports. Whatever we have here, whatever we gather here, the successes, the challenges, he will gather them, take it to Lagos for presentation.
The primary source of data that we are getting direct from the source that the Commission will use to make a way forward in the subsequent elections.
Workshop is to look at what happened during the election, the successes, the challenges, factors that contributed to the challenges, manner and method by which those challenges presented themselves.
In Awka, Emmanuel Chibata, ABS News.
The Nigerian Communications Commission awards 65 million naira to 11 universities for technology research. We'll also tell you that India has arrested a man over link to Easter Sunday bomb attack in Sri Lanka. Stay with us.
ABS, Heartbeats of the East.
The Nigerian Communications Commission has awarded 65 million naira grant to 11 universities to carry out technology research that will lead to technology products. The Executive Vice Chairman, Professor Omar Dambata, who made the presentation to the researchers whose proposals were accepted by the regulatory agency in Abuja, said that the Commission was expecting prototypes to be commercialized from the exercise. Dambata vowed that the products from the research efforts would not be allowed to suffer in the shelf, as had been the lot of many research endeavors in the country. Dambata said that any prototype emanating from the effort that was rated high will be translated to a product through necessary collaborations. And on business news this morning, in a bid to further grow the country's power generation, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has issued a license to Green Energy International Limited for the generation of 40 megawatts of electricity. The Director, Corporate Affairs GEIL, Olusegun Ilori, said that the license that was issued Green Energy by NERC was part of the measures aimed at growing the country's power generation, adding that the license was sequel to the company's application for it. He said that the license would enable the company to utilize its gas resources for power generation as part of its commitment to the federal government to use the gas from the marginal field for power and domestic gas projects. Indian anti-terrorism investigators have arrested a man with alleged links to the suicide bomber who planned Sri Lanka's Delhi Easter Sunday attacks. Investigators said Mohammed Azharuddin, 32, was friends on Facebook with Zahran Hashim, the alleged ringleader of the attacks claimed by Islamic State, ISIS. The arrest followed raids on a suspected ISIS militant cell in the southern Indian city of Kambota. The Sri Lanka bombings killed more than 250 people and wounded 500 others. State intelligence and local police are now conducting further raids in Okadam, a neighborhood in Kambutore, where officials say 3 of the suspects, including Mr. Azharuddin, live. And on sports, the Institute Français de Nigeria says it will mount a public viewing of the 80th edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup on June 17. This is contained in a statement in Abuja by Ms. Cecile Messer, the Cultural Program Officer of the Institute. She noted that France has come a long way since the French women's national football team took part in their first World Cup in 1971, which was totally unofficial and non-FIFA sanctioned, and expressed delight that the popularity of women's football continues to rise, which is said is important to highlight women's sport and female athletes' performance. She urged football enthusiasts interested in being part of the celebration to contact the Institute. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Now the main points again. Governor Obiano has asked state traditional rulers to tackle challenges facing Igbo culture and tradition. INEC has restated commitments towards strengthening electoral processes. Nigerian Communications Commission has awarded 65 million naira to 11 universities for technology research. India has arrested man over link to Easter Sunday bomb attack suspect in Sri Lanka. And that is the news this morning. I am David Okwasale. Good morning, Anambra continues immediately.